Hi, this is Bill, and you are on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. We continue our Regal Princess British Isles tour with our first stop in Scotland, the city of Glasgow. We did something a little bit different today and took a private tour of locations used in the filming of Outlander. Now, even if you're not an Outlander fan, we saw amazing castles, and if you are fans of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, or of Game of Thrones, we saw very famous filming locations for there as well. As always, we'll show you around what we did, what we saw, how we did it, and hopefully give you some information that'll help you better decide and better prepared for your trip to the British Isles and Glasgow, Scotland in particular. The ship ported in the port of Greenock, which is the port used for Glasgow. As you can see, it is not a tender port, which made it very simple. Just stepped off the ship, walked down, and the excursions were waiting for you there. The tone was set right away with some Scottish bagpipes welcoming us. The Port of Greenock is located about 45 minutes from Glasgow proper. There is a train station, which is about a 10-minute walk from the cruise terminal, with multiple trains going there back and forth to Glasgow each day, as many people on a cruise did. And then, obviously, some people also took ship excursions and various other independent tour excursions as well. Today we did an independent tour, not through any supplier, with Serca Tours. That's S-E-R-C-A. I'll put a link to their website in the description below. And a big shout out to J&D from Paro DJ. They had done the same cruise back about 6 months prior to ours. And they had done a video on Serca Tours, and it actually got us not only into watching the series Outlander, but also put us in touch with Sergio from Serca Tours. Now, I'm probably going to give away the ending here a little bit, but there is so much packed into this video, it is literally insane. Let me start off by saying that of all the excursions and all of the locations that Angela and I have been to, this is probably the favorite one we've ever done. The scenery, the history, the fact that it was only 5 of us in a van that was going place to place. We saw amazing places, did some real fun stuff. Sergio made this absolutely fantastic, and I won't give away all of his secrets, but he just, little things done throughout the day really made it just an absolutely fantastic experience. We saw quite a bit of Scotland on our first visit there. This is the first time we stepped foot in Scotland, and this tour could also be done from Edinburgh, but and some of the locations were actually very close to Edinburgh, but we chose to do it from Glasgow because we had plans in Edinburgh. Sergio let us know right away that Midhope Castle, which was the filming location for Lollybrook, was closed, and we would be unable to make that stop due to the filming of a Outlander spin-off series which was going on. Now, pay attention to that gate, folks, because I have a funny story coming up about it. This is Ward Park Studios, which was the filming location for the interior parts and the studio that Outlander was filmed in. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on video, but as we were standing there taking a group picture, they closed the gate, and the gate caught my jacket and kind of dragged me to the ground. Luckily, there wasn't too much force, and we were able to kind of pull the gate up a little bit and get my jacket out. But that was a little bit of a scary moment there, so probably should have stood a little bit further from the gate, but it did catch my jacket, and it was no harm, no foul. Our first true stop for a exterior filming location is Black Ness Castle, which was the scene of Fort William in Outlander. particularly the first season. Blackness Castle is actually located closer to Edinburgh than it is to Glasgow, and you can actually see some of the bridges from here. But again, it was a great day because it was a very comfortable van, and we saw so much of Scotland. We drove all over with Sergio just giving us great information every step of the way. Blackness Castle has a history all its own, and again, I won't bore you with history lessons. I'll let you look that up on your own. But it was passed to James II of Scotland in 1453 and has remained a crown property ever since. It's also served as a state prison, and it was briefly used during World War I in defense of the British Isles as well. Now, what should become abundantly clear here is the beauty of having a small group tour. We got there very early. Again, Sergio did a great job. He got us out to the tourist locations kind of ahead of when the tourists got there. So there wasn't 2 or 3 buses of 50 people each piling out there. There was, between us and some other people visiting, there's probably about a dozen of us that got to spend about an hour there just walking around and enjoying the scenery, enjoying the beautiful air, just soaking in the history, and not only seeing places that we'd seen in the series Outlander, very famous spots, but just understanding that this was a fort where people, lived and defended their homeland. Sergio walked us to the ticket booth where we purchased our tickets. That was no issue. It was a very small charge for those. And then walked us through the castle a little bit, gave us a brief orientation on how the fort was defended. Some very interesting information there. And then gave us some information about how to get around the fort itself, the different entrances that we could use to go up and climb up into the towers of the castle. Angela and I actually only started recently watching Outlander after seeing J&D's video on it. Love the series. If you're an Outlander fan, let us know in the comments below. But this part coming up was kind of weirdly eerie for a filming location. This location, as you're about to see right here, is where Jamie was flogged. Now, I'm not going to give you any spoilers on the series. I don't think that one is a big one, but it is a very, very important scene in Outlander, and it was just very odd seeing all these locations in person. Now, a tip if you're visiting Blackness Castle, or really any of the castles in the British Isles, is they are very narrow. This is incredible here, walking into these rooms, especially without a lot of people around. But the ceilings are low. The spiral staircases that go up into the fort or the castle they're very uneven. The steps are purposely different heights to make it difficult for invaders to get into the castle. So, and there's really no railings or handrails going up. You climb pretty far up, 4, 5, 6 stories up there, probably 60, 75 feet if you care to. It's not 2 ways, so kind of once you're up there, you're somewhat committed to continue. After our stay at Blackness Castle, we continued on a drive through the Scottish Highlands to Falkland. The drive itself was fantastic. We did a lot of driving that day, but just the beauty of Scotland and the quaintness of the towns and the information that Sergio gave us was just the day. We wish the day could have gone on twice as long as it did. Now, Outlander fans will recognize this town of Falkland as being the setting for Inverness in Season 1 of Outlander. Now, even if you aren't a fan of Outlander, you would absolutely love this stop. It is the cutest, quaintest Scottish village you'll ever see in your life. It's like stepping back in history. Now, Sergio gave us a little walk around and showed us this bench, which the town of Falkland put up to commemorate a concert by Johnny Cash. If you're a country music fan, this was even a greater bonus because Falkland happens to be the ancestral homeland of Johnny Cash, and he had quite the connection with this small Scottish town or village, really. The whole day was fantastic. It was Sergio really gave us a lot of great information, walked us around, pointed things out, and then we had some time on our own to explore. Now, if you look there to the building to the right, that top window in the stone building that I'm kind of focusing in on now, that is from the very famous scene in season 1 of Outlander where Claire is brushing her hair. And that's the fountain where another very famous scene takes part in the same scene. Again, won't give a whole lot away in case you haven't watched the series yet. Interestingly enough, we went to the actual Inverness a couple of days after this, and part of the video for the port stop of Invergordon will be Inverness, and you'll be able to see it is very, very different than the village of Falkland. Now, a funny little thing that morning is that Sergio kept asking us if we wanted to go see the Holy Grail. And Angela and I really had no idea what a Holy Grail was. We thought it was some sort of a Japanese breakfast or something. But a Holy Grail turns out to be a hairy cow, which is a Highlands cow.
This is Baxter, the small one. Honey in the middle. And Hamish in the left, far left. Okay, so what we'll do is when we come back out again, I'll get some carrots and we'll feed them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
When we come back out.
This was another one of the surprise stops that Sergio gave us. I won't give away all his secrets, but he just really made it a magical day. And for those that are wondering, no, this video is not endorsed by them in any way. I paid full retail price. There's no type of commercial relationship. It just, he is a growing small business owner and just went way above and beyond for everybody. Had a little bit of lunch in the cafe that is where the Highland cattle were, and they also had a really nice gift shop. This was our first gift shop we stopped in Scotland, and honestly, it was one of the nicer ones. It was not too crowded. All kinds of stuff, plenty of food, plenty of Scottish merchandise and souvenirs that you can bring home. And then afterwards, as you can see, Angela is feeding one of the cattle. Now, Sergio took it to a little different level right here.
A lovely kiss off her.
That was a sloppy kiss.
Yeah. Well, she's a female, what'd you expect?
Before finishing, us passengers may have enjoyed a dram, I believe they call it, of a little bit of Scotch whiskey. Angela, this was fun watching her because, as anybody that knows Angela knows, she's really not a fan of alcohol. So she kept thinking about it, tried a tiny bit of it, and let's see what she thought of it. All right, she's trying not to spit it out there if you can't tell. But she was a trooper and did very well. Oh, yep, there's a burn. Feel the burn. It was another nice ride from seeing the Holy Grail to what for me was the highlight of the trip, which is Doune Castle. Doune Castle is very famous. It was a medieval castle built in the 1400s. It has its own history, which I'll let you look up on your own, as usual, if you're interested. But it is the set of some very, very famous movies or TV series. This served as Castle Leoch for the first season of Outlander, the outside scenes at least. For my Game of Thrones fans out there, this also served as Winterfell for the first season of Game of Thrones. And last but certainly not least, the grounds were the filming location for pretty much the entire movie of Monty Python, the Holy Grail, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. The inside of the castle was magnificently maintained and reconstructed over the years, probably partially as it is the set of so many movies. That there is the kitchen area from Outlander. The interior scenes were not filmed here, but what they did was they used, I guess, a laser system to map out the exact dimensions of the kitchen, and it was reconstructed or reproduced on a set. For the ladies out there, there was an audio tour that was included with your admission, and it was narrated by Jamie himself. I would have preferred a Claire version, but I was a little disappointed there. Now, I'd love to see in the comments below you rank where you feel those three movies or series are. For me personally, it would be